Today I'm going to check out a Prismatic Warlock build with Getaway Artist. So this one is going to give you an arc buddy and a solar buddy to help you out on the battlefield. Plus also you're going to be Transcendent almost constantly, increasing your damage. Well, today I'm going to check out the build and how to put it together, plus why it's good in Destiny 2. Well, if you like the video, then subscribe for more Destiny 2 content, plus also turn on notifications to never miss an update from Endgame Express. Okay, first of all, why this build is good. So this build is all about ability spam, including grenades, class abilities and uptime for your arc and solar buddies, created by our exotic armor and aspects. So we've got great healing here with solar, plus also survivability through devour, and bolstered incoming damage resistance, meaning this is going to be a great build for regular play, and also endgame PvE content as well. Okay, let's have a look at how to put this all together. So first of all, we have our Prismatic subclass. For my super, I'm using Song of Flame, that one is solar. So this one makes your equipped weapons radiant and enhances your abilities. So while you're in your super, you release a supercharged melee attack that launches additional projectiles. The grenade creates a sentient flame wisp that seeks out targets and detonates in a scorching explosion, and then seeks out other nearby targets, while Song of Flame is active as well. You and your nearby allies regenerate abilities quickly, and also are more resistant to incoming damage, and your solar and kinetic weapons scorch targets. That is a very nice little bonus there. For my melee ability, I'm using Arcane Needle. This is Strand, so you sling a woven needle that will embed in your target, unraveling them, so you can activate your melee ability again to chain up 2 additional melee attacks. And the unraveling effect, that is what we're looking for here with our Darkness ability. Next up, for our grenade, we're using our Storm Grenade. This one is Arc, so this is a grenade that cools down the Focus Lightning Storm, and this is going to jolt targets, but we're going to be using this with Getaway Artist to consume it to produce an Arc Soul, but more about Getaway Artist in a minute. We've also got another grenade as well, and this is when we are in our Transcendent state. So the grenade here is Void and Stasis. You throw out a mass of Void energy and stasis matter, and on impact it deploys a miniature black hole orbited by a slowing field, so that's really good for slowing your enemies down. After a short duration, the black hole implodes, suppressing and dealing heavy damage to all nearby targets, and this is going to weaken targets as well, so this grenade is very, very useful indeed. For my class ability, I'm using the Phoenix Dive. That is solar, so you dive to the ground and create a burst of solar light that cures nearby allies, and that works in conjunction with one of my aspects, which is a nice segue to look at the aspects. So first of all, we've got Hellion. This is solar, this is a new one, so you activate your class ability to summon a solar mortar that lobs flaming projectiles at distant targets, and targets damaged by the mortar are scorched. So essentially, you've got a mortar throwing out solar projectiles, you've got an arc soul damaging your enemies with arc abilities, jolting targets. So this is going to be a really, really nice pairing to increase your damage output. We've also got Feed the Void, so you defeat a target with any ability to activate Devour. This is going to give us good amount of health, plus also an almost infinite stream of grenades. So Devour is going to be really, really useful for that health regeneration, and also the uptime on your grenades. Very, very useful for the build. So next up, we've got the Facet of Dominance, so your arc grenades jolt targets. That is what we're interested in here, so it's going to boost our grenades, making us more effective on the battlefield. We've got the Facet of Protection, so while surrounded by combatants, you're more resistant to incoming damage, and while Transcendent, this effect is increased, and that is going to help us stay alive in much harder content. Next up, the Facet of Hope. So while you've got an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. It's going to allow us to use our Phoenix Dive more often. That means more solar mortars and more scorching enemies, and this is up pretty much constantly because of the curing from Phoenix Dive being amplified nearly all the time. You got Radiant by picking up orbs, and also Devour too. Then we've got the Facet of Balance. So this one is rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy, and rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage grants grenade energy. So more melee energy, more grenade energy once again. Given we've got our solar and arc buddies from Getaway Artist and Hellion, it's going to boost up melee recharge rate, and the Arcane Needle is going to help us with boosting that darkness damage, Plus, if we've got a strand or a stasis weapon, that is going to really help out as well. Finally, for the fragments, we've got a facet of awakening. So rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage or super final blows generates an elemental pickup for the matching damage type. So this is going to be constantly creating ionic traces and also fire sprites as well from our arc and solar buddies. Fire sprites help us restore grenade energy faster, and ionic traces help restore all abilities faster, meaning your abilities recharge very fast indeed. Well, as for the artifact mods, you want Shield Crush, so while you're amplified or radiant, your grenade recharges faster and deals increased damage. You want Transference, so gain increased grenade and melee damage, whilst Transcendent and weapon final blows while Transcendent refund light and dark energy after Transcendent ends. You got Galvanic Armor, so while you've got an arc or prismatic subclass equipped, incoming damage from combatants is reduced while you are amplified. And finally, Radiant Orbs, so while you have solar or prismatic subclass equipped, picking up an orb of power makes you radiant. Well, that's it for the artifact mods, but next up we got the exotic armor. So we've got Getaway Artist. This one comes with Dynamic Duo. It converts your arc grenade into an arc soul and you become amplified immediately, and the arc soul functions as an autonomous turret. So basically you're pumping out constant arc damage, and becoming amplified really helps you out. Well, next up, let's have a look at the weapons. So in the primary slot, I'm using the Cool. This one is a new strand rocket-assisted sidearm. Very good indeed. And the origin trait is Dealer's Choice. So final blows with the weapon grant a small amount of super energy. If you equip multiple weapons from the Pale Heart, that increases the effect. So I'm going to be pairing that up with the heavy weapon. That is Pro Memoria. And that is a heavy machine gun. Again, another Pale Heart weapon, and you benefit from Dealer's Choice. In the energy slot, I'm using it in exotic weapon. This one is Sunshot, and this one is going to go really well with the solar elements of the build. Finally then, I've got the armor mods. So on the head, I've got Strand Siphon and Ashes to Assets. So Strand Siphon is where you get rapid strand weapon final blows to create an orb of power. So that works really well with my primary and also my heavy weapon. And Ashes to Assets, so you gain bonus super energy on grenade kills, and given I'm getting loads of grenade energy back all throughout this build, I'm going to be pumping out grenades almost constantly, and that is going to help us supercharge our super energy. Then on the arms I've got Firepower, Focusing Strike and Bolstering Detonation. So Firepower is where your grenade final blows create an orb of power. Focusing Strike is where you grant class ability energy when you cause damage with a powered melee attack, and Bolstering Detonation grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. On the chest, you just want to have a look at damage reduction, and then on the legs I've got Innovation, Invigoration and Absolution. So Innovation reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. Invigoration reduces your melee cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. And Absolution, that reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power. So orbs of power, very useful indeed, so keep an eye out for them when you're on the battlefield. And on your class item, I'm using Bomber, Outreach and Reaper. So Bomber, first of all, reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Outreach is where reducing the melee cooldown when using your class ability. And you've got Reaper, so shortly after using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about the build and share your favourite Prismatic Warlock builds in the comments. Would really love to hear from you. But that is it for this guide for the moment for the best Prismatic Warlock build in Destiny 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget, you can hit that subscribe button down below for even more Destiny 2 content here on Endgame Express. You can also like the video and share the video too. That would really help me out here on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I will see you very soon. Well, thank you for watching that video, and today I'd like to talk about Endgame Express Backstage, the home of exclusive content for fans of Endgame Express. To join, simply join up through Patreon or the YouTube membership. You get early access and exclusive content, shout-outs in the videos, access to live streams, plus also access to our exclusive Endgame Express Backstage community Discord. Well, here's some more information about the tiers. So in Tier 1, that is $2.99 a month, you get access to our community Discord and also early access to content. In Tier 2, that is $4.99 and you get shoutouts in the credits of videos, and also you get access to community polls and help shape the content. For Tier 3, that is $8.99 and you'll get access to exclusive community videos and also get access to exclusive live streams as well. Well, the core content on Endgame Express is always going to be free, but if you want to go above and beyond and support Endgame Express, then all you need to do is get access to Endgame Express Backstage today through Patreon or YouTube membership. You know, Endgame Express is a one-man band right now, but I would love to expand into more games, podcasts, more channels, but to do that, I'm going to need your help to make this sustainable, and in return, I offer you some exclusive benefits and backstage-only content. Well, if you enjoy Endgame Express, then consider Endgame Express Backstage today. You can hit that membership button right down below, or you can find us on the Patreon links, and you'll find those links in the description. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you very soon.